In the previous video, we defined an HTML page for our application which included this form, and there are various input elements here which we will access from our JavaScript source file and then perform a simple validation. So heading over now to the JavaScript file, I am going to define the validate form function, and to start with, we can retrieve each of the different input elements within our form. So all of the forms in a particular document are accessible using the document.forms object. Since it is an object, we can use it in order to access a specific form using its name, which is why within square brackets, we specify the name of our form, which is my form, within quotes. That form in turn is an object, and we can access the different input fields within that, once again using the name. And in order to retrieve the username field, we specify its name of uname, once again within square brackets. So this retrieves the element itself. However, to access its value, we get to its value property, and this we assign to the variable uname. Similarly, we can retrieve the value of the age which was specified, and also the value of the residency, which is specified using a radio button. All of these three fields had single values, which is why we were able to access those values using similar methodology. The account type, however, is a checkbox, which means that multiple values can be selected. And in order to retrieve the array of selected values, well, one way to do it is to invoke document.querySelectorAll, in which case we specify the CSS selector corresponding to the checked checkboxes. Note the argument which we specify to querySelectorAll in order to retrieve the checked checkboxes. And lastly, the nationality is retrieved using syntax similar to how we retrieve the username, age, and resident status. So now that we have retrieved all of the input which was submitted by the user, it is time for us to perform some validation of that input. Starting with the username. Here we check whether the length of the username is less than 6, and if it is, we will issue an alert saying that the username needs to be at least 6 characters long, and this validate function will return a false value, which means that the validation has failed. On the other hand, if the username is greater than or equal to 6 characters, we head over to the else block, where we initialize an array of selected accounts, and this is the array in which we will